Hey everyone! I'm working on a new build, so I thought I'd show you how I install LEDs on my Tiny Trainer Z. I like the fact that the top plate on this frame conveniently has a hole in the middle, so it's easy to install two small strips of LEDs. These are 5-volt cob LED strips that have an adhesive backing and can be easily sectioned off to the size that you need. I'm soldering the 5-volt and ground wires to the corresponding pad on the LED. I like to use red for 5-volt and black for ground since that's the standard for the other components on my quad. Once both wires have been soldered on, I apply a small strip of heat shrink so that nothing is exposed or pops off. To get a clean stick on the frame, I take a razor knife and cut where the heat shrink ends to easily peel off the film, and then it's just a matter of sticking it onto the top plate. The adhesive on these LEDs sticks really well, and I haven't had an issue with them popping off. This is why I install the LEDs before building the rest of the quad, so I can easily poke the wires through the hole in the middle. Now I've got two ground wires and two 5-volt wires that have to get connected to my AIO. Instead of soldering two joints onto the board, I like to turn these two wires into one. I've cut the wires short since I don't need a lot of length here, but I've stripped off more of the insulation than I normally do because it's easier to get these wires to become one if you twist them together before pre-tinning them. I'll be using a HackRC 40 amp AIO for this build with an HD0 Whoop V2 and Nano 90. I've really been enjoying the Tiny Trainer Z from 533. It's so much faster than my Tiny Trainer V2 and it's so much fun to fly. Pre-tinning the twisted wires ensures they connect well, and then I just snip off the little bit of excess before soldering the single wire that will connect to the AIO for both the ground and 5-volt wires. Once they're soldered, I put a small strip of heat shrink around both so nothing shorts out when I construct my Tiny Trainer later on. Make sure you roll the heat shrink while it's still warm to ensure that it doesn't slide down. And now I just have a single wire for both the ground and 5-volt. You can test your cob LED by taking the wires and inserting them into a 1S Whoop battery. Just make sure you follow round as ground when you're doing this. And there you go! Now my LEDs are all set for my next Tiny Trainer Z build.